Robert just saw the Green Inferno.
Yeah, I finally saw it. I wanted to been wanting to see it for a while, but I got kids. So I'm like, am I going to watch this awesome cannibal movie in front of these kids? I'm trying to get to eat food. Like, they're not going to...
If we're going to escape, we'll need energy.
I'm vegan.
All right, this is the Underhold. One of the things we're doing right now is just trying to get some more videos going. So we're doing a couple of videos at once.
Yeah, we're not changing shirts, man.
Oh. Yeah, no, this is what we wear.
Yeah, the Underhold, they'll find out, like, hey, I bet they filmed these at once.
Ooh.
That's the secrets. Yeah. It's not as good as the Mex Castles, but...
So we were discussing stuff that we maybe saw lately. Robert just saw the Green Inferno.
Yeah, I finally saw it. I wanted to been wanting to see it for a while, but I got kids. So I'm like, am I going to watch this awesome cannibal movie in front of these kids? I'm trying to get to eat food. Like, they're not going to...
We're not going to be able to watch all the same movies all the time. So some of these will be like discussions where one person's seen it, the other person hasn't. And we're going to play with this format over time.
Yeah, I'm probably going to watch stuff you might not even like sometimes, and vice versa. But we'll definitely watch some of the things you want us to watch out there.
So
try not to sell the audience too much.
I have seen the Green Inferno, but I saw it years ago. I saw it like probably the weekend it came out. So that was a while ago. And
Did you get to see it in the theater?
I did.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw it at Fox Tower 10, downtown Portland. It's a small little theater. I don't even know if anybody was else in the theater.
Dude, I helped build the Fox Tower. Or no, I helped build Pioneer. And then I didn't get to work there. I was really upset.
So I was just there by myself. I think. I don't think there was anybody else in the audience.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I wanted to see people leave in anger, but I didn't get to see that, unfortunately.
Yeah, people didn't even want to buy a ticket and protest. Which I could understand after watching it myself.
I'm trying to think what somebody came out of recently. Somebody did leave a movie recently and think it was garbage.
That's a good answer.
Was it Men in Black or?
I could see it. I heard some
What
stuff
was the other
about it.
Shaft? Yeah, maybe it was Men in Black. Which, by the way, it's bad, but it's not as bad as the other ones. So take that for what it is. I don't like it. I haven't seen Shaft.
It's already gone, right?
I haven't seen the Shaft. No, it just came out. It's this weekend.
But in your memory so far from being there, what movie has had the most walkouts or most returns?
Really nothing. People
Nothing
don't really.
memorable.
Nobody really leaves the theater much anymore.
Punch Drunk Love to me to this day.
Oh wow.
I've never worked during the movie that had the most walkouts, but every showing we had multiple people that
We have
walked
a
out
policy now of like when the movie starts, you can't get a refund anymore.
Yeah, it's right when it starts.
Yep.
Because it used to be
Right when the previews start.
I think it used to be 10 minutes.
And I was thinking about this. I wonder if it's to prevent employee theft. Actually, can't do a refund after the movies have started.
I don't know.
Like them returning the tickets.
That could be a Cinemark thing. I don't know if Regal, because there's emergency tickets at Regal still, as far as I know.
Like we can still give out. We could possibly give them a guest pass if they put up a stink about it.
Yeah, to me it's like if there's shit that you're like I've been forced to leave the theater because of an emergency.
Yeah.
We always gave those out at Regal.
We'll give out the gift passes.
And we gave out refunds if it was within the first 20 minutes. I think it was. It was. I think like before the second reel starts. You know, so it's like you're obviously been watching the movie. You're like, fuck this movie, I'm out. Right? Yeah. And honestly, we didn't give a fuck because it was about the concessions. We're not returning your popcorn.
I know.
You got your popcorn money. Fuck Hollywood.
That could be part of it too. Is since the ticket sale goes to
contracts
Hollywood,
from the
and that would mean we would have to pay you to leave a film. Because I bet you the movie company doesn't want to give the money back, so they're probably forcing us to pay for it if we give a refund. I think that could be it too. And
Cinemark, you're the third biggest chain at this point. Number 3 is you got AMC is number 1. You got Regal Cinemas number 2. Regal/Universal.
Oh, really? You're on Universal? Yeah. That's cool.
And as far as I know,
oh, by the way, sidebar.
No. Yeah, sidebar. The Green Inferno. Let's get back to that tree.
No.
So it wasn't bad. I liked some of this. I liked special effects. I think the movie overall had some. It was linear, at least you could follow it, which didn't bore me, and that's this thing I can really check out in films. But to quote Joe Bob Briggs, you have a horror movie, you should have that percentage of horror and comedy. And this had just a little bit more comedy and more moments in it than the horror, and I think those clash too much for me. So like the overall story is you get some college kids. They're your typical, I don't want to say like caricatures of liberal college kids, but these were like, we're gonna save the rainforests, and that's exactly.
But also it showed like
they go to save the rainforest.
It had liberal douchebags too, which was great.
Yeah, and so it showed that
because wasn't
one
the
of
like
these
the
guys
head
was
guy like a
hypocrite.
complete asshat?
Yeah, so the complete guy who's this.
I haven't seen it for years. So
Yeah, he's this guitar playing, like,
Yeah.
come love the forest. If you don't want to help save these people, man, you're not a believer, blah. You know, he turns out to be like a dude, like not just a douchebag, but like a scumbag.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Like this
That's what I
dude,
kinda remember.
like he was, yeah, we get paid by the PR company to come take this.
Make sure this is
videos.
recording still. Yep. Okay. It sucks to talk a bunch thinking you're recorded and you're not.
So he's basically this like douchebag that's being paid by the PR company, some PR company, and this is all just gonna look good for like 3 days, and then this development company is still gonna come in with mercenaries and just shoot all these natives that live in an unknown section of Peru, you know, an uncharted area in Peru, and they want to go stop this from happening. That's why they've conned this group of like basically save the rainforest liberal archetypes.
And this is like a modern take on what was the original one called? Something.
Well, see, that's what I thought.
Kind
I
of.
thought it was like Cannibal Holocaust.
Cannibal Holocaust.
Going
Not a
in.
remake,
Yeah.
but just kind of a modern take of sorts.
Yeah, in a way, like that. That's what I thought going into, was that it was going to be like Cannibal Holocaust. Which one of the big twists in that movie was that the filmmakers are actually the monsters.
Yeah.
And that, and while there's some of the leader of the liberal rainforest saviors is like a kind of a gross monster, it still has its hero in the main character who does believe in saving the people and their way of life, even though I guess she doesn't, even though all the shit bad happens to her, she still believes that they should have their way of life. If I'm to believe the ending, which is the ending confused me, and I'll get to that. But the group goes to Peru. They're almost immediately beset on by this like really bizarre, obviously scummy rich dude that's paying for the whole travel.
Yeah.
All right. They even under their breath like whisper, hey, pointing at the main character, who we learn earlier in the movie, her father is a lawyer for the United Nations. And so because of this other character is like kind of poorly nice, like all shucks, nice guy, invites her to the group, right? And we learn later it's because her dad's the lawyer. She's the obvious bait, because if they kill if these developers who the group is trying to stop kills her while they're recording on their phones and live streaming, so we get that modern aspect, at least, that they're using their phones as their weapons, that the United Nations is going to get all involved, and that so they don't fuck with her, but she learns, I was only invited on this because I'm bait. Mm-hmm. So even the nice guy in the show turns out to be, he was a scummy guy too, kind of knowing.
Now I have a theory about Eli Roth's writing, that it's very much like a bunch of uncomplicated characters just kind of doing what naturally comes next.
Like going with the flow?
Kind of like Cabin Fever just being like, this is what the characters are. This is the virus being introduced to the characters. This is just what's happening next. And
they were complete Archie type characters. You had the stoner,
and Hostel. I feel like that way too. These characters just act a certain way, and a lot of people that are just doing their job, or you have the asshole doctor that's going there for fun, and they're just acting the way they generally would act. They're not complicated characters. They're very simplistic, but they're just doing their next action that would seem right in that environment. And there's not like necessarily a character arc so much in Eli Roth films. There's not much of a like this is crescendoing to a finale even in some aspects.
Yeah, like there's no character arc like you were saying. There's a grayness to everyone.
And you can say that's bad filmmaking. I find it fascinating. I actually kind of like the style. It is different.
I don't think it's filmmaking so much as it could be acting choices or character choices, like writing choices in filmmaking. I think he pulls it off because human beings are, in reality, they're gray neutral characters.
There is a reality
they're
to
not
me
always
in that.
good, and they're not always bad, and in reality, they're not always the archetype. And if that's part of his writing, I could see that being the fascinating.
Like, I don't feel like The Rock would feel right for any of his films or something.
No, because he looks like he's a good guy.
Or Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis could be one of the doctors on vacation.
he was in Death Wish as an Eli Roth film.
Yeah, oh my god, that was back to the formula. That movie was all comedy, and it lost any kind of social relevance because of that. The original Death Wish was based on crimes that were happening in the New York subway system at the time, and so it resonated with the people.
Yeah.
And New York was overrun with crime. We don't have crime like that, where you need street vigilantes gunning cats down. We just don't live in that world.
I would try just that.
We have
Death
cops
Wish
that
was
gun us down.
A big argument over everything of Bruce Willis wanting to seem heroic and Eli Roth just being like, no, you just hate these people. You need to kill them and gun them down and be a ruthless maniac.
Yeah, and he's like, well, can we put some jokes in?
I think that ruined the movie.
Let me make smile
If
more.
you look at Eli Roth's other stuff up until then, it doesn't quite fit.
It's definitely it's a morality tale without a good or bad side. Yeah. The villagers aren't evil. They're doing literally
what they do as villagers.
Yeah, and it's a ritual. The people love it. You could see that even the children, it's a way of life, so it's not evil to them.
Yeah.
There's scenes where it's really actually beautiful watching some of the elders teach the youngsters, like, this is how you flay tattoos off a bitch, you know. And I think that's great. And they say it in this very, teacherly way. It's very kind, and you're like, oh, okay. But we as the audience, the horror is like, damn, she's just
too matter of fact.
This tattooed bitch, right? And so they're not really evil. The mercenaries, by definition, aren't evil. They're mercenaries.
Yeah.
And the bad guy even says, these mercenaries we just saw today, they'll be right back there tomorrow. The same ones we saw. And that's a plot point. Because it is the same mercenary that stops at the beginning that she has to convince Bluff with a broken phone later, spoiler alert, so that she gets away. But so like that whole grayness, we determined that the goody two-shoe people that come down, they all have agendas. There's the one girl comes because her girlfriend came.
Yeah.
The girlfriend came just because she wants to experience travel and shit like that. Yeah. And so we got those two characters. You got another character who wants to go find.
She wants a better Tinder profile.
Yeah, she wanted. They went for their pictures. You have the stoner character, the generic stoner character, who I noticed was like, is that Junie from Spy Kids? It was Junie from Spy Kids.
Oh,
sure was. Yeah. And he goes just because he wants to find the hardest weed in Peru. So it's the most generic character dumb thing. Yeah. Right. So that's what he's
the stoner.
Right. So they all have their selfish agendas. The cutesy kind of ho-hum guy that convinces our main character to come, you get the idea that maybe he likes her, maybe he was gonna balls up to ask her out at some point, but that don't happen. And then finally you have the main character who's determined is a real douche. They're like not even just a real, like he's a scumbag, not just no morals but amoral. He turns out he is kind of the villain of the story if there was one. And his love interest is immediately like shoving the main character, don't even look at my boyfriend. So we don't like her because she's there and she also whispering with the boyfriend. So we know she's in on what turns out later to be just a PR scam, right? Then when their plane crashes, half of them, the uninteresting characters, they die. They're the good ones. The good ones all die in the plane crash as they're supposed to, right? All we got left are these losers.
Man, could you imagine if Eli Roth did something like The Green Mile?
Well, like in The Green Mile, the black guy doesn't die first.
Well, you actually
does in the Green Inferno.
Heavily invested in one of these characters, like loving them like a Stephen King novel character, and then Eli Roth being a sadistic
which one was
fucker at the end.
There was one I read not too long ago, which it did a really good job of building up a character that is just gunned down for no reason.
But Stephen King does that a lot. He wants you to fall in love with the character, and then he just.
And then in the movie version, they won't show the gangbang.
Yes,
every time.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, that's a side note. Just I think
you know what you did.
Imagine Hostel if you cared about the characters or something.
You might care. It's like you have to go into Hostel going, is that the guy from my soap opera?
Yeah, there you go.
Is this the first
You have to be tied to that actor emotionally.
I like him from that other bad movie from MTV Films.
Because
he was a swimmer.
It's bad enough seeing these people, you know, getting filleted and, you know, tortured and stuff.
I didn't even feel it was bad.
Yeah.
Like, they start off right away and they're like, oh, we're gonna eat the black guy. And I'm like, is it because the black guy always has to die in the movies first, or is it because he's the fat guy? So they kill the black dude first, these cannibals. They go right up, pop his eyes out, saw his legs and shit off. It's a gruesome but funny. It's not super funny, but it's graphic, and it lets all the other trapped do-gooders know what's about to happen to them. Later, which is where the movie really, at first I'm like, okay, I can buy into this. It sucks, it's scary, like this is a situation that could be happening. Now you got the dude who's, like his love interest, they straight up dome check her with arrows as soon as she shows up. She's like, how's it going? Whap! Right in the chest, right? And they're like, can we save her? Bah! Right between the eyes, big ass arrow. Right? It has the worst special effects too, where you know that it was just a clip and they glued the arrow to her head, and because it's just the way it happens, you're like, whoa. But so she's out. Right?
Now, one thing I remember is them.
Which turns her boyfriend into a maniac.
Okay.
Right? So later in the movie, not too much later, like there's an escape plan. Mm-hmm. And the tattooed chick who's brought her girlfriend, who's all like, oh, I'll do anything for you. She's like, I'm a good runner. I'm gonna run the fuck out of here and get one of them boats, and we'll get out of here. I'll get back to. Alright, so she gets out because they distract the people. They have a phone with them. Mm-hmm. They turn on the alarm, toss it in the bushes. The sentry looks over, jumps down after this phone, and then they run out of the cave, or the runner chick with the tattoos runs out of the cage, gets the boats. All goes black when she gets to the boats. We're assuming maybe she's safe. The next scene, they're like, we're all gonna get the fuck out of here. We just gotta eat and get our energy up. So let's eat this weird paste that they bring us. What is it? That's the same shit they're feeding pigs over there. It's just pig paste. Alright. So the chick's eating out of the bowl, and they're like, my girlfriend is missing. And then she gets to the bottom of it, she sees that the bowl's got like little pieces of tattooed flesh from her girlfriend's tattoo. She's what? And then she looks over and all the little kids are playing dress up with the tattoos, like putting them on her. Look at me, I got a bitch's tattoo on my tummy. And like little 3-year-olds like. And so she's like, fah! Smashes the bowl and like throat jabs herself and just kills herself right away. Which causes the main guy, the guitar strummer guy, so he starts jerking off.
That's what I remember. There was something like they're just like fucking whatever, I'm stuck in here.
And they're looking at him, I'm like, what the fuck, bro? And he's like, you just gotta do it, man. You're gonna go. And I'm like, what? His excuse doesn't make sense. You just gotta do it because you got it. What?
Well,
obviously seeing her get her throat slashed gave him that. And he had to fucking.
But I was kind of thinking, like, I guess it was supposed to just portray, like, since you're stuck in there, just do whatever you're gonna do.
Just get depraved like that.
Because you're just gonna have to shit in front of everybody.
Which causes the only other good guy, the weird Swedish guy, he's like, I'm gonna kill you. Don't go over to choke this guy out. Why he's still masturbating? He doesn't even tries to stop him. He's like, yeah, why he's still masturbating? And the villager's like, nah. Put the sticks in, like, let him masturbate, bro. And push him off. And then, yeah. And then they still don't pick the weirdo, so he's obviously right.
Yeah.
Masturbating was something we would endear himself to the rest of the creeps. We're all painted like red and yellow and stuff, so they looked awesome and creepy. So they decide, all right, we gotta figure out another way. Oh, the chick, she just killed herself? Quick, before they come and take her body out and cook it. Let's shove the super weed, which is about an eighth of super weed, into her corpse mouth. Mm. And then they go and smoke her like a pig, the villagers, like, ah! And her weed-infested corpse billows out so much weed smoke that the entire village gets so high.
Yeah, that's
that they
very
they get the munchies. They start acting like cartoon high characters, grabbing her in the air, and they get the munchies to such an extent that they don't even. They're so high they're not paying attention, allowing 3 people to escape out of the cage. So as they're escaping out of the cage, Dickhead, who's jacking off a minute ago, he pulls down Junie from Spy Kids, like, nah, I just gotta be faster than Junie from Spy Kids. Because if I'm the only one left, they're gonna eat me. This way there's a 50-50 chance. And I'm like, you piece of shit! Right? But they like straight heroin jab Junie up, so with whatever savage blow darts they're using. What would it be filled with? It's Peru. So we gotta look that up. I'm guessing like frogs. So I whack. So Junie wakes up and then all these super stoned kids are around him. And they're all like, hey, let's eat him raw and alive. I'm like, cannibal movie. The cannibals know you gotta cook humans.
Yeah.
what do we learn in school? How many miles of intestine do you have?
30 feet.
And you learned from your surgery.
Yes.
That there are 36 chambers of dookie in that. If you.
Well, when I had a colonoscopy from my appendectomy, they had to put a tube in me and fill it up with the salty Kool-Aid juice that they can see in the X-ray. It's colored, I think, though. I think it radiates. I don't know, but they can see it when they image it.
Like MRI juice.
Yeah. So, but I had so much blockages. They need to fill up the intestines, so if you have a blockage being poop, they gotta push the
into the
nozzle into the next chamber, fill up that chamber, keep going, fill in the other chamber, and so I was joking that maybe there was 36 chambers and I am like a honorary Wu-Tang member or something.
Yeah, so old dirty intestines.
The 36 chamber of Shaolin.
Yeah. The appendectomy. Okay.
Which, actually, I'm going to go back on this a second. So, after I had some imaging, I remember being back in the room, and my doctor came in and was like, okay, we need you on your side. I'm going to, puts on the glove, and then he's like, we need to, check, your colon, whatever. And so he sticks his finger in my butt, and then he pulls it out, and he's like, we think your appendix burst. That's when he reveals that. So I'm like, how do you tell run that? Did he just want to do that? Because I think he got it from the imaging.
Yeah.
He could have told me before he stuck his finger in my ass.
He's like looking at the books. Huh. Gloves, please.
Yeah. It's like,
I think your appendix burst. Isn't that over here? Oh, no, it's not. You would think so. We could feel it through the. Maybe it's like how if you.
It's like they put on the gloves, they put the finger in your ass, you go, you just got approved for your college loan. And you're like, what does this have to do with anything?
I've heard it works for a lot of people throughout life. Getting a lot of loans that way. So this super weed makes the whole village so high they eat Junie alive. Guts, bowel guts and all. The kids. So fuck those kids. They are all missing school tomorrow. Alright. So now that allows the main character to leave. Now they were prepping her for some kind of ritual because right when they first captured him, the witch doctor, shaman, ruler of the village, who was all yellow and had like one eye and all this cool like Cardassian from Star Trek shit going on, or Bajoran jewelry. She rolls up with this like bone hook and straight Aziz Ansari fish hooks all three of these chicks, right? And she's like, "Yeah, you're a whore. Man, you've had sex."
Yeah,
and then as soon as she busts a hymen on the main character, we learn, oh, not only is your dad a U.S. senator, you've never even had sex, and you're in college. How did you get a green card or the thing you need to the visa, right? How do you get a passport? I don't know. So they use this bone on her and break her hymen, like, oh, she's getting special stuff. And it looked like at one point they were binding her up to give her the. To give her a female genital mutilation.
The tropes of like virgin sacrifice.
Yeah. But like some of the binding was like about genital mutilation.
Oh, yeah.
And that was kind of what keyed off the character in the first place when her teacher at school mentioned that this tribe did that. And she was like, well, that's barbaric. And you're like, well, some women think you gotta do that so that your men don't run around with all the other men in the village. Or, I mean, women in the village. So they just make it a baby making thing. I don't know. I think it's weird.
Yeah.
But I did circumcise my son, so I'm one of the mutilators. You know?
Oh, this is gonna be a tilted video, huh?
That's alright, we were just as crooked.
Yeah.
It's fine. It'll be one of those, it's probably slowly doing that, so the audience is like, what the fuck? It'll make it funny.
That's the underhold.
That's the underhold. So yeah, she eventually escapes, the main character. After they get these cool ants to like eat the other dude alive, the Swede. I don't know. The movie was weird. It was disjointed. I expected more cannibalism, actually. The mutilation in the beginning with the black guy was really the bulk of it. The chick who, they burned her off scene, and then we just see yellow paste. Man, I can fill up a bowl full of mayonnaise and mustard and be like, here you go, you're eating your buddy.
The main thing I remember is just some jokes about people being douchebags. pretty much most of the characters being an asshole in some way. And then just trying to get a
the
good...
weed to made it take a side turn.
Yeah, some gore. They wanted you to flinch from some of the gore. That was pretty good, but...
yeah, like an eye-popping scene with a knife here and there. But in the movie, like I said, it takes that weird turn once the super weed makes the whole village high. Mm-hmm. But then, at the end of the film, there's an end credits scene like it's a comic book movie.
Yeah.
There's a weird, like, mysterious phone call from the creep's sister, and she's got these satellite images that show the creep is still alive.
Yeah, I kind of remember that too. I didn't get that.
Does that mean
was that supposed to be is there supposed to be a sequel? Is it supposed
That's
to...
what I'm getting. They're going Green Inferno 2, Electric Boogaloo. You know, are they going to go back after the guy and
was it going to connect with the
Hostel
Hostel movies? Was it going to be like Eli Roth Hostelverse?
The Hostelverse. That's awesome. Hostelverse. Eli Roth.
Here's another thing I don't get.
Are you going to do
the
that?
The Cabin Fever remake was filmed here in Oregon. We're in Oregon, by the way, for stalkers. I have a customer who comes into my work. He wears a Cabin Fever hat from that remake. He says it was literally just a cash grab. They tried to advertise it as a good thing they used the same script to just refilm the movie, which is kind of a cool idea. I actually do like that, of using the same old script, refilming it for new. But if you look at the new version of the movie, there's just no thought into it. It literally looks like, let's just film this as cheap as possible. Maybe? I think it was a cash grab. I think it was they figured they could re-release a new one as a remake, use the same script without paying anything more, and just throw it out there. I think that's what they did.
Why pay someone to rewrite it?
They just didn't want to pay for a new script and figured they could make money rebooting the franchise with the same script. It is a very uninspired remake, unfortunately.
Didn't the first one have the kid from Boy Meets World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. I love Cabin Fever.
Yeah, I just remember the scene when she's like scratching her butt or whatever.
But I want to say Exorcist 3 or 4 has a similar story where there's the same script for two movies.
I know what you're talking about exactly.
And one came out as The Exorcist, one came out as something else, but it uses the same script, but they're totally different movies, which is very fascinating.
So the director in the movie he turned in his first film, and that's Exorcist Dominion.
Okay.
Right.
Is that 4 or 3?
It's 4.
4. Okay.
So they turned in that, and it's drastically different than what comes out. So the studio didn't like it. The studio wanted more of the paint by numbers horror movie, and the original was really trying to play into the religious angles of the first one. Was trying to make more of a psychological horror movie. Because a lot of people discount Exorcist 3 from the. See, you weren't even sure which one it was.
Yeah.
And Exorcist 3 is probably one of the scariest psychologically freaky horror.
I kind of remember the poster of 3.
Right? George C. Scott's in it. Yeah. It's amazing. It still holds up, and he gives a performance in it that's just great. And it's not just about the chick shooting her head around or a possession, but like all these other things that go into the psychology of like basically his character investigating this stuff, because in that movie, at least, Karis is his friend. In Dominion, it's kind of like the origin story. So it's Father Marin is the guy, and he's Peter Sarsgaard, or the other one. One of the Skarsgård is the guy from who's Loki in one of the movies for a minute. The guy who was like the badass. I string up Daniel Craig, the girl with the dragon tattoo. But he's in a movie. I'm either the bad guy or the creepy uncle. You're one of the two. So I'm totally losing my train of thought here.
By the way, this is something that's going to be a normal thing in the videos. If we go on side tangents, this is a good thing.
This is the underhold.
This is why you're going to want to watch stuff having to do with movies that you give two shits about, because there's going to be side stuff like this.
So Rennie Harlan, that fucking hack, he redid the Exorcist and turned it into Exorcist the Beginning.
Oh, that was Rennie Harlan. Oh, my God.
He's the hack that warps it. But the beginning is, the first one is badass. So just like you're saying, they ended up...
Did they both get released as an Exorcist film?
Eventually.
Okay.
But the one that was theatrically released first was the Rennie Harlan dumpster fire. And you can look at it and go, what's going on in this movie? It's not that scary.
From the villain, Deep Blue Sea.
It's just like any Rennie Harlan movie where basically the female love interest turns out to be the bad guy. Sorry, Gina Davis.
The woman he is banging or wants to bang.
Yeah, like she's a bad guy after all. Like, never one of your films, you creep boy. He's probably got 900 Me Too's that we don't know about.
Yeah.
everybody on Cutthroat Island in Die Hard 2.
His career is just nothing anyway
Jesus
now.
Christ.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he probably has had to come back.
I swear, I think he did like some of those Magnum PI TV episodes that might have came out, starring dude who was in Hostel. So let's bring that back around. So yeah, that was a great.
That's definitely going on.
Yeah, we're probably not. You're probably not even discreet anymore. This video is off the rails. So if you're still with us after that crooked little, you see it happening, right?
Yeah.
You just wait for it.
That's pretty good.
Until it happens. It's gonna happen. Yeah, so we're gonna have a big section in there where they're just looking at my left tit and all my garbage. Probably my paper full of resin over here.
Oh wow, yeah, that had to be. Nice.
We'll see. This will be a fun video. Ultimate answer, like Green Inferno.
That's not so bad.
Good idea. Poor serving of cannibalism. Exactly. I expected more cannibalism. Probably got more cannibalism in the One Direction version of the Jeffrey Dahmer movie. Who was in that? Was it One Direction guy? Who was in Was Jeffrey Dahmer? The new one. There was a Dahmer, my friend Dahmer. But one of the stars was like some fucking
Harry Styles in it or
something like that. These kids today. Give me a good Larry Cohen movie.
Yeah, I remember enjoying it more, but I also have bad taste, so there's that.
Yeah. Well, you saw it in the theater. You like Eli Roth. I still haven't even seen Hostel.
Oh, really? Okay.
Once I had kids, horror movies start changing for me. I'm like, oh. Because I have a daughter. So if you would have had like an old daughter, you immediately go, serial killer's going to get her forever.
Ashley Robbins in Hostel 2. She's done like a bunch of like softcore porn. She's so fucking hot.
Nice. So
Ashley Robbins, Hostel 2.
Like, here's her IMDb list?
Yeah. Don't. I mean, you can watch Hostel 2, but just watch her other stuff. Primo.
There you go. It's a soft.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
What it means is you don't see no shafts.
It'll shrink you.
Yeah.
Clitoris this big.
Yeah. No shaft spots in the movie. It is squeaky be clean, right? Softcore. I can't even imagine why you'd make a softcore porn movie nowadays. You can watch two girls eating shit on the computer, but people are gonna make fake porns.
Yeah, I mean, she just has a lot of like lesbian stuff or something. I mean, it's hardcore, but I mean, it's not.
That's probably what Eli Roth needs to do next.
I mean, stylistically, there's not much there. I think he's fine doing what he's doing.
What's his last project? Wasn't he like a host for a TV show?
It's the kids movie, the Halloween kids movie with Jack Black.
Goosebumps. The house.
The House with the Clock in its Walls. That's actually Eli Roth, and it's not.
Oh shit!
It's not bad. It's Eli Roth stretching his wings a lot more emotion, actual character arc, stuff like that. Of course, I don't think he wrote it.
Reaching out from like I'm not like Kevin Smith.
It's a little bit scarier than the normal kids horror movie, which is nice, but only a little bit. It just gets a little bit gory, a little bit scarier. It's what I like. I like in the 80s. I loved it to have some actual scare in a kids movie, like just even a normal kids movie like E.T. that had scary moments with the Reese's Pieces and the cornfield and stuff, or even
Monster Squad.
End, Monster Squad. I liked actual genuine scariness in kids films, and that's what it made me think of Eli Roth. And I think Eli Roth is going to have a very successful second half of his career, I would say, because if he
bet he had kids.
I think also he's
kids movie.
I think also he's just not sure what to do next, and just wants
he made
to
a
keep
movie
up
where
with
he ate people. What's the next step of?
I think he's done a lot of what he's wanted to do horror wise, and now he's just kind of in a way doing it for a paycheck, just learning his craft a little better, if that makes sense. Just having fun, because it did look like he had fun with the House of the Clock in its Walls. It was not paint by numbers.
When you're in your 20s, I could see I'm the new master of horror gore being a cool title. Then you're like in your mid 30s, early 40s, and you're like, I gotta pay.
Well,
mortgage.
He's done, I think, a lot of what he's wanted to do. I mean, if you've done X amount of movies and most of the concepts that are stirring in your head, if you've done them all, then after that you're just kind of making shit up. And I'm okay with him doing other films.
That's where I think Quentin Tarantino is now.
Yeah.
And he's in the Eli Roth camp. They kind of make films the same way. That's why he's doing that in a Star Trek movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I can't write my own shit anymore. I'm bored.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm really... I don't know if I'm curious to see how many times he can drop the N-bomb in a Star Trek movie. But I feel like it's like, in the future, we use this word for everything. And I'm like, oh no, Quentin Tarantino, not
We don't call it synthahol anymore, we call it synthany.
Yeah, fucking Quentin Tarantino.
That's just what they call
when I was 16, he was the coolest. But so was Nine Inch Nails. And now that I'm an adult, I realize Nine Inch Nails was the anthem of all of the incels.
What are the bad guys with in Star Trek?
Klingons?
Klingons. They'll just call them the N-words. That's just going to be the new name for them now. Just straight up. There's not going to be no subtlety.
I know, he would just be like,
have you seen the new Star Trek show?
No, but I've heard bad things.
It's like a secret war. It's literally like this captain's throwing out the Prime Directive and going like, how can we secretly fight war with the Klingons?
Which was the whole plot of Khan.
Kind of, yeah.
Because that was what he was doing, Peter Weller, RoboCops. When they had like his daughter in the movie, so she could do the absolutely for no reason gratuitous strip down scene. I'm like, that's all I remember is like, hey, what's our medical officer getting down in her bra for in front of everybody? She got daddy issues, is what it turns out.
Okay, well, I think we got a good footage here.
All right. Don't cancel CBS All Access just yet. Definitely cancel DC Direct after them dumping Swamp Thing after one episode. Fuck you, DC Direct.
I'm going to get a subscription to CBS All Access here in about a week. I'll give you the login. We can probably do a quick review of maybe Twilight Zone or something.
We might. We can check those out.
I'll see what's on the service, and we can maybe hammer out something.
They're remakes of all the old episodes, right? But with the heavy-handed...
I have no idea.
Well, let's check him out. Jordan Peele, right? He's a pretty
yeah. The old Twilight Zone wasn't exactly light touch.
Yeah, no. Australians technology. You motherfucking fascist. Smoke a cigarette, you piece of shit. You're gonna let these... Whoa, Raw, take it easy.
Alright, cool.